have you ever been as a professional photographer, at a photo shoot, at a park, not necessarily at a venue that this would happen like during a wedding, but doing an engagement session, people walking by and, they know that you're either doing an engagement session or something, high school senior or something like that, and they'll say, hey, congratulations or something like that to the couple that's standing there or the individual. So the strangest thing happened to me last week, which has never happened before. As a photographer, when you go to the park, when you go to the place that you're going to be taking pictures at, and you see another photographer, because you see the off-camera flash, you see the camera, you see the long lens, you see the professionalism, if I can say it that way, and you look and you acknowledge and you see and and you're like, that's not just a person just taking a parent taking pictures of the person. So and you can tell. So when they got the 70 to 200 and they've got the mag box on there and they've got their thing on there, and you can tell that there's another level to them, if I could say it that way. So if it's somebody that I know that's in my group and in my area that I know, hey, how you doing? How's everything going? Blah, blah, blah. When I don't know who they are, that little head nod, hey, what's up? I see what you're doing. You know what I'm doing. I don't want to be in your way. Let me know if you're in your way. So that happened, and I happened to see this couple walking around. I think they were doing a high school senior. So you could see the flash, you could see the octabox, and you know what they're doing. So you're trying to stay out of their frame, and vice versa. Normally, if I was in the middle or in between or walking past somebody, I would say, hey, how you doing? Great day for shooting. Do you have a business card I can take? Little things like that. Sometimes I'll do that, sometimes I don't. Some people will do that to me also. So I'm walking by, and there's this lady walking by. She's got her cell phone, and we're taking pictures in front of these, beautiful lilies and stuff like that. And this lady's walking by, and she's kind of looking, and she kind of mentioned something, and hey, great day for taking pictures. I was like, yeah. Go back to taking pictures of my wedding couple. I was actually doing a redoing of a wedding couple who the first photographer screwed up their pictures, so they hired me to come in and get great pictures for them. So that'll be another video. So I'm sitting there and we're talking and stuff like that, so I'm posing them and stuff like that. So the lady that was walking by with the cell phone's like, hey, did you take them down by the flowers down by the other road? Now, I've been to this place before, and I was like, oh no, we haven't gone down there yet. Oh, you should really take them down there. They've got some beautiful road down there with all the flowers on the side. And I was like, oh, I said, is that further down past the house? And she's like, yeah. She goes, if you keep walking. So she starts explaining to me where to go. I'm like, now my couple's standing right in front of me, and I'm mid posing them for the picture that I want. So she starts striking up this conversation about where I should take my couple. So I'm trying to be very polite, and I was like, okay, maybe we'll check that out later on. I said, it's not this place, it's over there. She goes, yeah. She goes, I've got some award-winning photographs that I took down there. I'm a professional photographer also. I'm like, all right. So I didn't say anything, and then I started walking, go back to posing my couple and stuff like that. So we were heading in that direction anyways. So we started walking in that direction. We started walking down the road, which we were heading in that direction anyways. I am a very spontaneous person when it comes to my photos and my photography. I like to look and see, and then I look and shoot. So sometimes as I'm walking, and the sun is different from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So the way the sun is hitting, the way the shadows are hitting, the way the light's coming in and going out, I'm looking at different things. So I'm visually looking at what I want to do. So we're walking in that direction. Next thing you know, that same lady is now at that end, walking past us, and says, oh, I'm so glad you came down here to my idea. I didn't say anything about her idea. I didn't say it was her idea. I didn't say thank you. I didn't say nothing. So I just didn't say anything like that. So now I start, I'm doing some walking pictures. So they're in the middle of the road, trees on both sides. They're walking down the middle of the road, holding hands, lean across, kiss, turn around, come back towards me. So when we get back to the edge, there's a little bench there and a nice big brick wall. So I put them over there by the brick wall, and behind the brick wall in front of them in the foreground was flowers. Behind them was a beautiful, blue sky. So I'm literally posing this wedding couple now. That same person with the cell phone, professional photographer who had to acknowledge who she was, starts talking to me again in the middle of me posing my couple. So now they're in a dress and a suit. Wasn't their wedding day, was a redo. So I'm posing them. So she's over my right hand shoulder looking, trying to tell me, saying, hey, did you go down over here? There's another spot way down further on the end. If you get really down low to the ground and look upwards, you get a nice, beautiful angle that way there. And I have beautiful flowers over here. I've got award-winning flowers down here. And I was like, thank you very much for the information. I said, we're good with where we are right now. I said, we both see what we want to do over here. I said, so thank you. Very, very polite, not unprofessional at all. Now she's starting to bother me. So now I'm like, okay. So I said, okay. I go back to posing my wedding couple. She's still standing there over my shoulder. And she goes, oh, that looks really good with the sky behind them. I was like, yeah, it does. So I said, okay. Start posing them, lean in towards each other, go in for that kiss, doing my thing. So now she's standing over my shoulder, and she's like, oh, she goes, well, I'm a professional also, and I don't have my big Bertha camera with me, but if you don't mind, I'm going to take a picture with my cell phone, which my cell phone takes excellent pictures. I'm going to take a picture. You mind if I take a picture of the wedding couple? So before I even had a chance to say yes or no, she walked up in front of me with her camera, with me posing the bride and groom, take a cell phone picture of the bride and groom up against the wall, and then turns around and walks away. I looked at my wedding couple. My wedding couple looks at me and started laughing. If you want to consider yourself a professional photographer, that was not professional. That was not professional at all. When I say to somebody, hey, have you gone down by the beach? Something like that, I would be like, hey, just so you know, the tide is up, so there's not much sand showing. That would be an acknowledgement of a heads up. By the way, there's no sand down there, the tide came up. Or there's a lot of broken glass down there, just to give you a heads up. Not to the point of pointing a photographer in a direction that they should technically go in, because it's not your shoot. It's not your wedding. I don't care if you're a professional or not. If I'm inexperienced or experienced, you don't know my level. You don't know what I'm doing. Mind your business. And I mean that in a completely respectful way. Hi, I'm a professional photographer also. Do you have a card? Absolutely. Don't walk up and take a picture of my wedding couple after I pose them in the place that I wanted to pose them in. You don't need to tell me how to go down the road to take pictures at a lower angle to get more. You don't need to tell somebody that. Just, hi, how you doing? Acknowledge. You don't have to do anything else other than that. My wedding couple and I afterwards had talked about it, and I told them, I said I was really trying to refrain from not being fresh, but I felt like that was very unprofessional of her to take a picture of you guys. She goes, that was weird. Even the wedding couple said, that was weird to say. I'm a professional also, but I'm only using my cell phone because I want to take a picture of you. Unprofessional. So my professional advice is acknowledge other photographers. Hey, how you doing? If there's like rain is going to be coming, or if there's glass that's going to be in the way, or the flowers are not looking good here, they're looking better over there, let them figure out their own selves. They don't need you. They don't need you to help them, guide them, direct them, pose them. They don't need any of that. So don't be that person that gives instructions, because it really almost undermines my level of creativity. You don't know who I am. I could be just a beginner, or I could have been a seasoned professional. And now what's going to happen is you're going to be like, oh, I was helping this photographer at this thing, telling me good spots. No, you weren't. I was going in that direction anyways. So zip it. Mind your own business and just don't do that. Don't be that person. So if anybody ever does come by you and say, hey, maybe we can, there's a better spot over here, let other photographers figure out on their own. Let them learn on their own. Let them figure it out on their own. That's the best way to do it. So this is my tip to you as a professional photographer. Don't let somebody take a picture of your wedding couple. I didn't catch it in time. She did it so fast. I was like, and she walked away. Don't acknowledge that. Don't listen to somebody that's trying to tell you to go in other directions and stuff like that. Whether you're going in that direction or not, they probably meant well, but still unprofessional too. So don't be that person and don't give advice to somebody else. If you're a professional photographer, do the professional thing and mind your business. Let them figure it out on their own. If anything's ever like that ever happened to you during one of your sessions, even if it happened at a wedding, which happens a lot, there's always people that come up behind you and say, oh my God, look at the sky over there. Oh my God, look at the bush over there. Oh my God, look at the trees over there. I know. We'll get there. Relax. Anything's ever like that happened to you guys before? Put your comments down below about what's happened to you before, about like other people and or professionals giving you direction on how you should shoot and where you should shoot. I'd love to hear about that. So thank you guys for coming back to the channel. Remember to subscribe and hit that like button for future videos. And we'll talk to you soon. Remember to smile more because it sure does hurt less. Peace.